All of the glory belongs to you.
The title is I See You. I See You. We live in a society where at some point in our lives we have all felt invisible. We felt invisible individually, and we felt invisible collectively. Invisibility is seen when we're walking down a crowded street in New York City. We'll feel invisible. Invisibility is seen in our lack of policies for African Americans in this country. While we're a minority, 13.3% of the population, systemic racism raises its ugly head time and time again. In our healthcare system, we see disparate treatment based on race. In our banking system, we see redlining despite what your credit report says. In our education system, we see that our schools are underfunded. I felt invisible up until this day called 9/11. After 9/11, I walked to Staples, and people that were from the town started to engage me in long conversations. I walked over to Pathmark, and they started these conversations again. I thought that I was in the Twilight Zone. Conversation with the saying, oh, we have to stick together. It's us against them. We. I thought that I was in France. Amen. That's a reaction based on fear from a group that holds privilege now that their world is in total limbo and chaos. This privileged group began to feel what the invisibles in our country have felt over 300 years since being brought in slave ships to this country. Cornel West said it this way, that right after 9/11, America now knows what it feels to be a Negro in this country, to be hated, unprotected, and subject to random violence. But sometimes we cause others to feel invisible. And the new invisible Negro is now the Mexicans. In this text, we have a husband and wife who cannot bear children in a society that bearing children meant your livelihood. The children would be also the workers in the field, and you were blessed when you were able to bear children. If you were not able as a woman to produce a child, you were barren, so you felt that you were cursed. So in Genesis 16, it opens up with two old people who have not borne any children. So Sarah takes the matter into her own hands, and she gives her slave Hagar to her husband, her Egyptian slave, not maid servant, slave, not servant, slave. She's what's known as an involuntary side chick. She did not have any say in that relationship, and Hagar conceived. When Hagar saw that she was pregnant, she looked down on Sarah and despised her. Sarah went to her husband and complained, and she blamed him for the way that Hagar acted towards her. Abram said, well, do what you want to her. So Sarah began to treat Hagar very harshly. And we could only imagine what this young black girl went through. Story, we have Abram, who's not been named Abraham yet, Abram, that he checked out and he cowardly dealt with the situation and gave responsibility to Sarah. We have Sarah who flips out, and she flips out on Hagar. And lastly, we have Hagar who runs out, and she runs away from an intolerable situation. She finds herself near a spring in a desert road near shore. And the angel of the Lord appears to her and calls her by name, Hagar, where have you come from and where are you going? She answers, I'm running away from my mistress who mistreated me. The angel tells her, go back to the situation with Sarah. It makes Hagar a promise that she will greatly have multiplied offspring. You will conceive and you will bear a son, and you shall call him Ishmael. Hagar, where have you come from and where are you going? She could only answer one part of that question. She could answer where she came from, but she never answered where she was going because she was stuck in the past. She was in a wilderness situation. See, in this text, she gave the Lord a name. You are the God who sees me. And just like God met Hagar in the wilderness, God can meet us in our wilderness. He can meet us in a financial difficulty. He can meet us when we are mourning the loss of a loved one. He can meet us in a state of election depression. He can meet us wherever we are. The God who sees. Her invisibility becomes reversed through this encounter with God. And just as God sees Hagar, God sees our hearts. Just as God sees Hagar, God honors our good intentions. Just as God sees Hagar, God sees you getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to take a job that you don't really like to feed your family. God sees you struggling. God sees you. You may not have been voted most popular in class when you attended school, but God sees you. You may not have 1 million Facebook friends, but God sees you. 2 Corinthians says, we're troubled on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not despairing. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Struck down, but not destroyed. God sees your work.
All of the glory belongs to you.